record. Okay, I'll call this meeting to order at 4:33 p.m. I'd like to start with the Territorial Acknowledgement. If we were in person and on Burnaby campus, then I'd like to acknowledge the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and the Métis Nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on unoccupied lands. And we can move on to roll call of attendance. I will be including a link in the chat for people who are not in Burnaby locations or anything like that. So for you to realize what types of lands that you guys are on and located on. But for roll call of attendance, I'm just going to be calling the names, and we can include our names, pronouns, and access needs. So I'll start off. My name is Tiffany. My pronouns are she, they, and all my access needs are met. And then the next person, we could move on to behavioral neuroscience.
Hi everyone, I'm Arthi, pronouns she, her, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. For French next.
Hi everyone, I'm Kylie. I use she, her pronouns, and all of my access needs have been met. Thank you.
Right. And then Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs have been met.
Awesome. I don't think I missed anyone because I don't think Corbin and Almas are joining us. But that's okay. So we will move on to the consent agenda. Be it resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. So that just means if there is nothing that you guys wanted to include in it, then we can continue this meeting as is. Yeah, I'd actually like to include a discussion item. Be it resolved. No, yeah, I'm amending the meeting to include, be it resolved, to include a discussion item to talk about our committee's annual plans for this year as well as the upcoming year.
Just a quick question. So if you want to talk about our future meeting times, would we still have to amend the agenda to add it, or do we want to do that?
Yeah, we could do that as a discussion item.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll leave that up to you, Arthi.
So be it resolved to amend the agenda to add a discussion item about future meeting times.
Okay, sure. So once again, I will ask to adopt the agenda with new amendments made. Can I get a first?
Oh, first.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank
you. Sorry, Sarah.
Okay, that's okay. I'll do Sarah first.
Yeah.
For second. So we'll move on to that. So we actually only had one discussion item submitted, and that was to talk about fall 2022 events and workshops. This was submitted by Arthi. If you want to go ahead with it first and talk about it.
For sure. So I know that since our committee is really new, we didn't really have any events, I guess, and we had events planned last year, but none of them were actually put into action. So I was thinking, since it's the beginning of our new school year, we should have a couple of either events or workshops, which will also be included for first years from fall of 2020. Because I think it's really important, especially when we do a workshop or an event like What I Wish I Knew in My First Year or something. I feel like it's really applicable to the grads of 2022. Totally being biased because I'm one of them. So that's just it. So I was wondering, I don't have anything specific in mind, but I was wondering we could brainstorm as a group and maybe list out a few possible workshops and events that we could do, and then go from there.
Okay, thank you, Arthi. Kylie, you can go ahead.
I moved to suspend the rules so that we can just have like a casual discussion and actually brainstorm instead of typing lists into chat each time we want to talk.
Love
I
that.
was wondering if you're gonna do that again. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know, only time Kylie lists is when she wants to suspend the rules.
I don't having to list and I forget what I need to say by the time it comes to me in list. I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to move to suspend the rules.
Okay, wonderful. Does anybody second?
I can second.
Okay, thank you, Arthi. So, be it resolved to suspend Robert's rules and continue this meeting informally. If you dissent, you can raise your hand. Nobody dissents, so let's continue and have a discussion on this. I guess Arthi, like, since you mentioned that you yourself also was looking forward to like the more university experience, were there specific things that you like wanted to do more?
I think main thing is like I was looking at the agenda from like the meeting minutes from like the committee from last year, and one of them that really caught my eye is what I wish I knew my first year, because I feel like it's very important. Like you would just assume that everyone knows like how to build a proper time like schedule where it's like you know how to manage your time, or just you know basic stuff like I don't know, taking courses, choosing like a major or minor, or especially like completing like WQB requirements, right? Those things we just assume like, oh, you should know it because you're in university, but I feel like a lot of students don't. And I personally didn't either. I had to like go out of my way to learn everything. So if we had a workshop, or I guess that would be more of an event, it would be really helpful for first year students or just any new incoming students to SFU.
Okay, makes sense. Do you guys have any ideas? Sarah, Kylie?
I'm also in the same boat of last year as our first year, and I agree. I think it would be a good idea to include us because we went through a year of university, it was all online. We still don't know anything. And I really like the how to and like what I wish I knew stuff, because like you're saying with the balanced schedule, like I'm trying to build I recently changed programs and trying to build a new schedule for fall, and I'm like, how do I do this while factoring in commuting? I'm only used to like the commute of 10 seconds from my bed to my computer.
Oh,
so
no.
Right, yeah, a 2-hour commute is a big difference. So I think that's a really good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going through the minutes, and I think the previous group of execs, they wanted to do it like a monthly workshop, which I think is a good idea, rather than just having like one at the beginning, just doing monthly with like different topics each month and like recruiting different panelists for each month. I think that would be really interactive as well. And then yeah.
Okay.
Do we know if we can have our events in person, or do they have to be online for sure?
I believe that we are able to have them in person. We just need to follow the in-person guidelines that the SFSS encourages and enforces. If we do not, then they would not be able to like financially or like however support us for the events.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think it's max 25 people outside, masks need to be there, hand sanitizer needs to be there, needs to be contact tracing. But I also believe that's only until August 23rd, and that there might be,
Right.
they'll be revamping after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Corbett.
Oh, I forgot that they kept the meeting going.
That's okay.
This is what happens when Gabe chairs all the time. Okay, I'll pop out.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
That was so awkward.
I am actually just going to pause the recording for a while because I need to figure out how to do minutes. Awesome. So I guess for discussion items, we could, because we're doing the events and stuff, we could send out surveys, maybe like a survey to students and just get an idea of like what they were the most confused about, or like needed the most work on. I guess like especially because everything was online, it was difficult to know which resource to go to. Like it's not like I can walk to this building and I'll go to this office, but it's like all the links were just on the website. Yeah, we can work on an action item for that. Start a survey, and in our next meeting we can go over the questions. You guys can submit questions of how you want to word things or what things that we should include, and we can go over it before we like release it. And
Oh, wait, the survey would be sent out to like the student body for them to submit like questions or like what we want to
no, so we'll make questions ourselves and it's sent out to the student body to see like how their experience with like first year remotely was, and what things they were looking forward to, what things they needed help with. I guess sort of like that.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe we could just put out like it's not really like a feedback form, but almost like a survey too. And then it would just be like new students, first years, and then technically second years of next year too, where they just submit things that they wish they had like learned about, you know, rather than us like having to read so much like about their experience or what they were looking forward to, just simply asking them what questions they have or like what kind of, what questions they would like to have answered in the workshop kind of thing.
Okay, sure.
Right.
We could also have it done like a survey, but instead it's just like an open box, open answer sort of thing, and they can send it in to us. Yeah, what do you guys think? Just trying to think.
Something else we could think about would be like to get the most, like the questions that we think would be the most important, and then put them in there and have like, oh, is this something you wondered about? Like a little, I didn't wonder about this at all. I worried a little bit about it. It consumed my thoughts every single day how to fix this. And then we could, because I think then it'd be easier depending on what platform we use, just to look at the statistics and see, oh, we thought this question was important, but everyone who took the survey said they didn't think about it at all. So there's no point working on it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like, that way we'd also get more responses, because then if we ask them to like type in their questions, they'd just be too lazy to do it. But if it's just like a scale of 1 to 10, and then like the last question could be like, oh, do you have any other questions that's not included, right? Okay.
Okay, good. So we can do that as an action item. Create a sort of survey and get a general idea of what their needs are. Okay, can do. Okay.
What question do you guys have in mind that we could ask on that?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
What questions do you guys have in mind that we could ask on that? Like, what were you blank most confused? Sorry, not blank. Like, what questions? Like, oh, did you have trouble with WQB requirements or getting around?
Yeah, just maybe things like I mean, we'd obviously have to work on the wording, but like the first most important thing is building a schedule. Like last year, like when my enrollment was like early July, I had no clue like how many courses to take or like how heavy like a 4-credit course is, right? Just things like that. I feel like a timetable, like just building a schedule, that's really important. So I guess we could word it like, I don't know, so are we gonna ask you like a question, or are we gonna say statement, and then, because they can rate it either way, but
we could ask a question, but then like it'd be like a scale of 1 to 10 or something, and that's how they answer it. Because I feel like another thing is with open-ended questions, if it's just a box, a lot of people will just be lazy and say nothing, or like not applicable.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure. Okay. Okay, and are there any other things you guys want to mention about this before we move on to the next discussion item?
Sorry, how did you say that we were going to do this? We're just going to brainstorm questions and talk about the questions in the next meeting, or Discord discussions, or what was the plan for that?
We could have it over Discord, or we could have a different platform for just us, like to brainstorm this. Yeah, what are you guys comfortable with? Do you want to use WhatsApp? Do you want to use Signal?
I am good with like Messenger or something.
Yeah, Messenger is good. Okay, so we can arrange for that after the meeting. We can talk about how we're going to divide up the work, and we'll revisit it at the next meeting.
Yeah. Okay, just a heads up. So I have like an example question right now. So I think maybe wording them as like, I wish I knew blank. So what I have written down is, I wish I knew how to build a proper schedule. And then we can put like in my first year or whatever. Right. And then if like all the questions or statements are like in the same format, it would be easier for us to get an idea.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
That's a good start. Thank you, Arthi.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys were wondering about? If not, then I will end the discussion for this one, and we can move on to discussion item 6.2, which was discussion on annual plans for this committee. So it's a little similar on what Arthi wanted to talk about, but hers was specifically fall events and workshops. So we'd also want to sort of get an idea of what we want to do for the spring semester and the summer semester. There are definitely still new students coming in during those times, but definitely less. But yeah.
So do you guys have like any other, like, I don't know, would we want to do something like more, I feel like more appropriate to like the time of the year too, right? So if it's like closer to like course enrollment, you know, things like that. But what other event could we have? Weren't we talking about having like a trivia kind of thing of like what SFSS is for new students?
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
We could do, yeah, sort of like how we had the development session that was Jeopardy, I think, a few weeks ago, and like they had a whole column on SFSS things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do something like that. And then I feel like we can also, for that, if when we're doing an event for that, we could also use the video that the outreach committee, the outreach working group is doing right now, right? So like the introductory video to the SFSS, so we can use that and then like start the trivia or whatever.
Okay. Items. Does anyone have an idea of how the student outreach working group is doing? Like, have they started working on the video? Anything else? Okay. Was it Sara that was in charge of it? If anything, I could reach out to her.
I think the last time like I saw like an important message was when they said they only had like 2 people join the working group so far.
No.
Maybe just asking if it will be interesting.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
I feel like anything we try to like plan ahead for the year, we might want to make it so we could do it in person or online, just because like cases are going back up.
Yeah.
So I mean, we might be told, surprise, classes are online again, you can't go in person. So we should be able to have that plan B to fall back on, I think. Yeah. Or even if not, they might still be like 50 people max. And we're like, well, we got a couple thousand first years.
Yeah. And I think another thing we have to consider is that like now students who were first years during COVID, now they're second years, but they're equally clueless almost.
Yeah.
Because they've been given the right resources. So yeah, that's a lot of students we need to think about. Okay. Good point. So do you guys think we want to stick to like one event per month? like that would be the goal, I guess. I know that we're all really busy as well, and we're not a huge committee.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I think it would depend on like the scale of the event, because if it's something like really big, then we can't have like multiple events like every month, right? But if it's like really small workshops where it doesn't require us to have like a lot of work to be done, it's only like the 4 of us, right? Then
Mhm.
we could have like monthly events. But if not, we should see at least like one big event like every other month or so.
Okay. I think another thing we could look for is people who, what's it called, like sort of led the council development sessions. Because I found some of those were not just council specific, but they were sort of general knowledge about how the SFSS works. So we could look back on those and see if they're also applicable in our case. Okay, sure. And is there any other discussion on this topic? If not, I will move on to discussion item 6.3, which is scheduling future meetings. Ideally, we want to have a meeting every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. I hope that works for everyone, but some of you have told me that this time is sort of difficult, and I don't know how everyone's courses is for the fall semester either. So yeah. You guys have any idea what other times are good? If not, we can just go for a let us meet or a like when to meet link.
I think initially, like I said, I feel like everyone was, I'm not too sure, but I think everyone was like free for Wednesdays or something, but I just couldn't.
Okay.
But like now I'm free on Wednesdays. It's just that I got a new job, so like I work like 6 days almost. So Wednesday is like the only day I'm free now. So Wednesday, like maybe in the afternoon or something, that works for people. Is everyone free on Wednesdays?
I guess it would be just before council meetings then, right?
Yeah, maybe like even like, I mean, council's at 4:30, right? So we could have like 12 or 1, and we could have like the whole afternoon, right? Before council.
Okay.
I can't do Wednesdays up until school starts because I am I'm working right now. So I work 9 to 5, so I couldn't do that. But once school starts, I can do Wednesdays.
Okay. Okay.
And should we just have like the meeting, the date that we're planning right now up until like school starts? Because I still need to like figure out my schedule and like volunteering and all that stuff. So just in case.
Sorry, could you say that one more time, Marcy?
I know, I was just saying that like the meeting time that we're deciding on now, is it just gonna be until school starts? Because once school starts, like I have to like check my schedule, work, volunteering, commute, and everything too.
Yes, we could aim for another meeting date in August. And then after that, once school starts again, we can do a different one. Like the after school starts, that would be our like set one, you know?
Right, yeah.
Would that be okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I will send out a when to link, and hopefully we'll be able to arrange one before the end of August. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, sounds good. And that is it for our discussion items. Sort of open floor now, if you guys have anything else to say. If not, then we will be moving on to adjournment.
I have 2 quick things. First of all, I'm on leave. I think I said the 7th, the 14th I'm on leave just because I'm going to be camping. I won't have connection.
Is that
So, yeah, August 7th, 14th. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so if you like send out a note, I think we're leaving like the 8th to 13th. So if you send out a when to meet like today or tomorrow, I can fill it out. But otherwise, if I don't fill it out otherwise, just so you know, it's because I have no internet connection. I am in the mountains.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for letting me know, actually. Yeah.
Of course. And then also, we were saying Messenger platform, maybe do you have like our Facebooks for Messenger already?
Just one second. I was going to discuss that after the meeting ends?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay, sure. And if that's everything for everyone, then I will move to adjourn the meeting at 5:02 p.m. Can I get a first?
Oh,
Okay, Arthi first. Can I get a second? Okay, thank you, Sarah. So be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 5:02 p.m. If you dissent, then please raise your hand. Seeing no objections, the meeting has now finished.